I'm going to continue talking about birds today. The last time we talked about the mating calls of the birds and the mating and the building of the nest. Today I want to talk about the eggs, the incubation of the eggs, the hatching of the eggs, and the fledging of the young. And I want to start with the eggs. Birds, all birds, lay eggs, and they come in all shapes and sizes. So this is a typical egg that you have in your house, hopefully. This is a chicken egg, and this is an emu egg. You can see, not only do they come in different sizes and shapes, but they also come in different colors. Everything from white to dark brown. There's also speckled eggs. Some eggs are round, some eggs are egg-shaped, okay, but not all eggs are egg-shaped. Let's take a look at some of the different types of eggs, the colors and the sizes and the shapes of the eggs. All birds lay eggs, but you might wonder, how many eggs does a bird lay? Well, most songbirds are what we call determinate layers, and there's a specific number of eggs that they'll lay. And if you take one of the eggs out of the nest or one gets broken, they won't lay anymore. They have a set number. Chickens, on the other hand, are indeterminate layers, which means, lucky for us, we can take eggs out of their nest and they'll just keep laying. And most birds lay one egg a day for as many eggs as they're going to lay. And interestingly, the songbirds will not start to incubate the eggs until all the eggs are laid. So that means that they'll all hatch together. The incubation will start at the same time for all of them, even though one might be laid 4 days after another one. Eagles, on the other hand, will lay 2 eggs, and they'll start to incubate the first egg right away. The second egg will be laid a couple of days later, and then they'll start incubating that, which means that one of those chicks is going to hatch first, and that chick is going to get most of the food. In an abundant season for food, both chicks will get fed and survive. But in a season when there's not enough food, only one of those chicks will survive. So eggs are not as fragile as we think. And I want to introduce an experiment, an activity that you can do, where you take your breakfast eggs that you've broken in half and set them on a table, 4 of them, and then put books on top of them. See how many books you can put on top of these eggs before they collapse. Let's take a look at this activity. Okay, so the eggs are in the nest, and now the mom is going to sit on the nest, and we don't have to worry about her crushing the eggs because now we know how strong the eggs are. She's going to sit on the nest and keep the eggs warm. That's called incubation. And you might be wondering, wait, birds, are they warm-blooded? As a matter of fact, birds have a warmer body temperature than we do. The average bird's body temperature is 105 degrees. Wow, if I had a 105-degree temperature, I'd be in the hospital in intensive care. But birds naturally are warm-blooded, and they keep their bodies at 105 degrees. So the mom can sit on the eggs and keep the eggs very warm and incubate them until they hatch. The other thing is that birds are covered with feathers, and feathers are the best insulation in the animal world. In fact, we use feathers in our coats to keep us warm in the wintertime. And the only animal that can live and actually raise its young on the Antarctic ice in winter is a bird, the emperor penguin. So how does the bird get its 105-degree temperature body against the eggs so that it can warm the eggs if all those feathers are in the way? Well, the female birds have what we call a brood patch, which is an opening. So the feathers actually open up on the chest of the bird so she can put her warm skin against the eggs and keep them warm until they're ready to hatch. So how long does the parent bird have to sit on the nest? Well, that depends on the shape of the chick when it hatches. Some chicks, when they hatch, are blind and naked. And when I naked, I don't mean they don't have any clothes, I mean they don't have any feathers. And those chicks are going to hatch very quickly, probably within 2 weeks. Some chicks, though, when they're born, they have a complete coat of downy feathers, their eyes are open, their legs are strong, and the mom will hop out of the nest and the young will hop out of the nest and follow them. And this is mostly the geese and the ducks and the swans. They're what we call precocial birds because their young are ready to go as soon as they hatch. The other birds that are born naked and featherless and blind, they're called altricial birds. By the way, humans are altricial. Okay, so now it's time for the chick to break out of the egg. And this is no easy feat. The chick will develop what's called an egg tooth. We all know that birds don't have teeth, but in the case of the chick, it actually develops a hard, bony tooth on the end of its beak. It also develops what's called a hatching muscle behind its neck so that it can peck at the shell until it cracks open. Sometimes it takes 2 to 4 hours, even longer, for the chick to get out of the egg. Okay, so the chicks have hatched out. Now comes a busy time for the parents because now they have to feed the chicks. Some birds feed their chicks 20 times an hour. Some feed their chicks 40 times an hour. So think how fast that is, going back and forth, getting food, coming back to the nest, both parents helping, both parents sharing in the feeding of the chicks, back and forth, and until the chicks are ready to fledge. Let's take a look at some busy parents feeding their young. Okay, finally it's time for these hungry chicks to leave the nest, and even then there are some chicks that still follow the parent around and beg for food. Let's take a look at that. Okay, go to your kitchen and take an egg out of the refrigerator and take a close look at it. If you have a magnifying glass, use that. If you have a microscope, use that. You can even use it on one of the shells that we use for the activity. But take a look at it, because the egg has hundreds of pores in it that let air into the egg that help the chick breathe while it's still in the egg. And that's all for today. I hope you had an excellent time watching this video and learning about birds.